Welcome to Google SketchUp Woodworking Tips Volume 1 for Mr. Swanson's classroom. Today we're going to be looking at how to set up your woodworking or your file so that you can do woodworking projects more easily, as well as putting dimensions on parts, using the tape measure tool, and looking at the camera tool. The first thing is we want to set up our file to work well under woodworking. In order to do that, we're going to go to SketchUp and Preferences and find the template. Under template, you'll see you have many options. What we want to select today is inches in woodworking. You can choose either 3D or 2D. Once you've clicked that, now you can actually start drawing and typing in the length of measurements you want. As you notice in the lower right hand corner, there is a length line or a length unit. You can type in the lengths that you would like, such as 10, and instantly you get a 10-inch line when you hit enter. Now in this case we can zoom in and get closer so it fills up more of the screen for our 10-inch line. Also, if you select New after selecting the woodworking preferences, you can go to New and start a new project. Once you get into the woodworking preferences, you'll notice that all of your files will start with a carpenter's or a framing square. That is there so you have scale. In our case here, we'll go again a 10-inch line, and you can see it's a little bit bigger on the screen to begin with. What we're first going to do here is create a 10-inch by 3-inch, 10-inch long, 3-inch wide board. To do that, we're going to draw using the axes and all the tools to go 3 inches up. Using the red axis to keep it parallel, and then create a 10 by 3 inch surface. In order to make it 3D like in woodworking, we will drag it or extrude it out to 3/4 of an inch. We could also type 3/4 of an inch in order to get it to be a 3/4 inch board. The next tool we'll be looking at is the tape measure tool. The tape measure tool is a wonderful tool when you want to find areas on the wood surface such as in order to drill or to mark your board without actually creating a line. In this case, we're going to drag down and type in 3/4 of an inch and find 3/4 inch off the top edge and off the end of the board, finding 3/8 of an inch. We're marking these out in order to design our plug holes and where those should go. I now have two marks that are both 3/4 inch off the top and bottom edge and 3/8 inch off the end. We can zoom in to see these marks more closely. Using the circle tool, I can draw circles that are to a specific radius. You can see that in the lower right hand corner that I'm drawing holes that have a radius of 3/16 of an inch or a diameter of 3/8 of an inch. We can drill down into our board a specific depth as well. In our case, we want to do it halfway through the board, which would be 3/8 of an inch. A few other tools that will come handy to you while you're designing your woodworking project are to look at the camera tools. If you want to hit specific views to see what it looks like, such as an isometric view or a standard parallel orthographic projections, such as a front view, you can do that quickly and easily. Also, you can take off the 3D in order to make it appear to be more flat, such as a standard engineering or woodworking drawing. Lastly, I want to show you today where you will be able to dimension your piece. Under the Tools segment, you can find dimensions by looking down. Dimensions are very easy with Google SketchUp. You just click on the line that you'd like, and you can drag it and it will tell you how far or how long it would be. In our case, it's going to tell us in inches because we set that earlier with the woodworking template. So we have our diameters of 3/8 of an inch, a 10-inch long board, and a 3-inch long wide board. We can also use some of the other things to find things such as how far down our drill holes are, which are 3/4 of an inch. These are all the tips I wanted to show you guys today. Again, we learned how to set our template for woodworking and using inches. We learned how to type in dimensions and to create lines that are specific dimensions by both typing them in as well as dragging the lines and watching it on the length at the bottom, so right-hand corner of the screen. We saw where the dimensioning tools are as well as the camera tools. These are all tips that you'll need to use to successfully design your parts in Google SketchUp to create woodworking plans.